So the first thing I do is I give orders to my units on the right flank to move around the enemy force and surround it. I'm kind of concerned the enemy will start to fall back. I gave orders to these guys to pull out because it looked like initially, when the phase started, there were no units in this little pocket. I didn't know what happened to them. I thought maybe they had simply disappeared or exited off the map. But no, they are actually there, and they all come back in. Yeah, another good reason not to do this. So yeah, at this point, I just want to wipe those guys out one way or another and get everybody moving to join the rest of the battle. So my thought is I can just place units on top of them. They'll melee themselves to death. At the end of it, the enemy will be dead. I'll take some losses, but the enemy will not exist in this corner anymore, and that'll be the end of it. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to grind this out, and it's going to be ugly. So the ammo wagon is on its way to the right flank. This is actually a very good move. My infantry has plenty of ammo. My artillery has surprisingly plenty of ammo for a while. And all we have to do is surround these guys, and then normally you would just surround them and then fire into them forever and they die, but we want captures, so we're going to get a bunch of captures. Here it looks like we're getting mostly shatters. Yeah, and this is that stupid unit that was able to retreat out of that little pocket. I'm trying to melee him with my cav unit, but that's not working particularly well. Would really like to kill his cav. To avoid any trouble with him sneaking around my army and snagging, I don't know, anything. Yeah, unfortunately I see a couple of his infantry units making a run for the flag. Do not want those guys to be able to escape. We want to capture those, cut them off before they get out of this pocket. And they're doing the right thing. I mean, moving back toward their lines is the smart play. Yeah, my units have a long way to go. Yeah, you can see I'm telling them to sweep around the enemy position and cut them off. And that's actually quite a ways to go. We have 2 hours and 43 minutes, and I really don't want to trip any flags. And there are a couple of flags here that can be tripped. Yeah, is he finally dead? And I got no captures out of that. What a disaster. I got no captures. Okay, and he's cut my supply wagon off from moving across the board. So I'm really irritated that that unit that should never have gotten out of the pocket has now screwed up my plans for the supply wagon. Yeah, I now know exactly how to do this next time for success. So there's a trigger point. If you go too far north, you will end this phase, or you will trigger their reserves to come in. And what I have to do now is get my infantry up, get them resupplied, and get them in position to attack, which means recover condition, get ammo, and then participate in the last part of this battle. And if I do anything to trigger the next phase, or to get his reinforcements to come in on top of me early, this will be much harder. Yeah, what I decide to do is I decide just to run forward to the tree line, and that will make that over. Once I'm in the tree line, he's done. So I'll take some losses running into the tree line, and then after that, it's just beat him to death. So, yeah, and it turns out the 1842s are the units that are going to get on the flank of his whole position. That was not the plan, but Yeah, get him right on the flank of the enemy position and start driving him into a pocket and away from the victory location. That's going to work out just fine. And I'm looking at this, and if I can get him to retreat south, that would actually be to my advantage. Get that whole pile to retreat south. Okay, on the right side, this river, um, where my detached skirmishers are, I'm nervous about pushing beyond that because I think that's a trigger that makes all kinds of things happen. Yeah, I'm moving units to the left to create a corridor for my supply wagon. I'm telling you, the secret to this is get that supply wagon to the right, and it turns this battle around. It's really, really devastating to the enemy once your allied units get resupplied. Yeah, that's good. The first unit comes up, and he's going to be engaged by two of my. Hopefully, I can get two of my units into melee with one of his. This is looking just fine. My units look in good condition for both condition and ammo. Don't want to push too far north and trigger some kind of an event. Uh, just want to focus on getting captures down here. And the difference is these troops have ammo and their condition is great. They've had a chance to rest, and I put 2 units on each one of his to charge and hopefully start getting captures. Okay, that unit was a surprise. He took so much damage from so many different directions that he broke. So now I just want to hit as many of his units with as much force as I possibly can, get in there and yeah, capture them all. Yes, another unit surrenders. Another unit surrenders. So yeah, it's time to get everybody running in there. Another unit surrenders. And once the units surrender, get them out of there. Yep, another unit surrenders. Now we've got this one guy to the south. I think there's still one guy in the pack. Yeah, we've got to get in there and get after those guys so he doesn't bring anybody back. And we're going to prevent him from doing that. We're going to grind both of those units down to nothing as quickly as we can. Yeah, I've just been having my detached skirmishers shoot at this guy in the hornet's nest. Yeah, now my infantry is there. Even detached skirmishers, they'll prevent the other units from being taken back. And we're going to get this last capture. I hate having to run in the swamp, but it was necessary, and we got them all. So that was a big pile of captures. So now I'm going to check the condition. I hit pause, check the condition of all my units, get them out of the swamp, and start moving them forward. Again, I don't want to push too far north. These guys on the right aren't ready to attack. But I'm concerned that it's 1700 already. So I have to approach his position. There's 2 hours to go. And we're going to approach with detached skirmishers. Hopefully get this infantry up as quickly as possible. And his unit in the hornet's nest shatters. There might still be infantry hidden back in the swamp somewhere that I just didn't see. Now that I think about it, that might be a thing that, there could still be units back there. I don't know. Yep, and there they are. I think they were triggered by my unit crossing into the north of the objective. And I think the key to this position is to get into the woods. You get into these woods, and his position here is lost. He can't stand there. It also separates his reinforcements into two clumps, and my army is going to win the battle on the left easily. We're going to take the victory location, but I need the allied units to come up and be a factor in this, and they've got to get resupplied, and they've got to recover condition, which should only take about 10 minutes for them to recover condition. But you'll notice there's still a bunch of units that are pretty far away from the combat because they went too far into the swamp and it's just taking them forever. I have plenty of force on the left. These units that are in the swamp, they'll get there in plenty of time, and if they don't, the units that are on the front line can probably win this without them. Yeah, this isn't really about winning the battle. The battle's won. The battle was really won a long time ago. This is about getting a complete wipe of the battlefield and getting as many captures as possible. So it's interesting, this is on legendary difficulty, and I'm not fighting Shiloh to win the battle. There's never any doubt in my mind I was going to win the battle. It's to get as close to as many captures as possible. And at the time, um, I was just amazed at the number of captures. I just couldn't even imagine how High Bob Warbob was getting the number of captures he was getting. And I wanted to see how many captures I could get here following those techniques of going for captures with this mod that rewards you for captures. So there's that. And I wanted a complete wipe of the battlefield. So, yeah, this is not about winning the battle at all. The battle's won. There's no way you lose this battle from this position. It was actually won the moment his left and right flanks were surrounded. The battle was over. But yeah, I remember the early days of Ultimate General Civil War. You just fought battles trying to win. Now, it's not about winning. It's about getting complete wipes of the enemy, killing and capturing every single unit of the enemy, and now with this mod, getting as many captures as you can stack up. So and also getting kill ratios that are as high as possible. In the early days of Ultimate General Civil War, 2-1 or 3-1 was a huge victory, and now we're trying for kill ratios that would have been unimaginable in the early days of this game. Yeah, the last time I fought this, I was concerned about getting too close to his ironclads because they do enormous damage. Um, what High Bob did was he just killed the ironclads with his artillery. So what I'm going to do is turn my supply wagon on for these artillery units that I've gathered here to kill his ironclads. And then after that, his artillery is just going to move forward and just tear his infantry to shreds. But I don't have to fill them up with my supply wagon. Just have to give them enough ammunition to be able to fire at full speed and do full damage. So as you'll see, we'll be able to do that and still have ammunition left over. But at that point, it really doesn't matter. I mean, the battle will be pretty much over, but I want to save some ammunition because there will be infantry coming up that I can resupply as well and then throw them into the battle in the final phase. And the final phase of the battle is coming up. So see you there.